All right, welcome to the always awkward to say, but here we are once again, third video, impressions video for the week, as we have a early access game in our midst once more, in Battle Wizard Attack. Unleash your inner spellcaster, and in this action-packed retro-styled RPG, choose from 8 powerful magic disciplines and face monstrous horrors across sprawling maps packed with destructible chaos. Or shorter, I'm assuming this is a Vampire Survivors clone.
I was just about
Not
to ask.
exactly, but it's more like that than an RPG, which is what it says it is. So,
Mm.
Anyway, so game was assigned to Golix for for his impressions at the very least. Um,
so first off, this game needs some work on the options front. Currently, the only option is a few different languages. It kind of full screens itself. It really needs to not do that, especially because when it full screened itself on my like normal widescreen monitor, the it wasn't vertically correct, so like I lost uh, a significant chunk of the user interface in the lower right corner of the screen, which was not good. Um, so as it says, there are 8 different wizards in this game. They are all different elements. You get your usual electricity, fire, ice, earth, and then like blood, doom, Esper, and Rainbow, which are or Esper, not Ether, not Esper, but
I was
yeah.
about to say, what
So
are what are psychics from Japan doing here?
I mean, it's still kind of psychic.
I get that,
Uh,
yeah.
what it means ultimately, all of them start out with a pretty basic linear shot thingy, which either goes in the direction you last faced or last tapped, or there is a lock on that you can turn on and off with one of the triggers or one of the bumpers, which is usually better on because circle strafing is going to be a useful strategy.
Mhm.
Um, now, when you start the stage, each character has a specific set of skills, and you unlock them as you play through a stage after like each one requires a certain number of kills. Uh and the numbers are very high. Like the unleash your true power that like recharges all your spells and increases your power and stuff is a unlocks at I think 1,000 or 900 or something.
Mm.
So they're at like 100, 300, 500, something like that. There's also a dash. Uh, as far as I can tell, while they are different aesthetically, the different wizards, different spellcasters mostly get kind of similar stuff, although not necessarily in the same order. Like, I think everybody gets a circles around you effect, but they aren't exactly the same, and for some of them it's the second thing, for some of them it's the third thing, for some of them it's the fourth thing.
Mm.
Um, so you load out. Also, it's very awkward. You were dropped at the beginning in a extremely large map. Like like it would probably take a good 2 or 3 minutes if you could cross it in a straight line, and you can't because all the paths are all curvy and there are enemies and there are fences and walls and stuff. So on the first map, to defeat the skeleton invasion, first you have to get to the center of the map and fight some guys. Then you have to go to the lower left corner and the lower right corners of the map to meet some guys. Then you have to go to the top left corner of the map, and then you have to go to the top middle of the map. and that's where the final boss of the first thing is. Unless you have powered up your character significantly, I think this is going to take the better part of 15 minutes. And that's if you're not trying to kill everything and trying to get past most of them. Which, again, you need to kill things to power up. You don't have to worry too much about your health for most purposes because you have a mana-powered shield. So if you just if you take glancing damage, as long as you can get out of it quickly, uh, your shield will recover. Though when you fight a large thing or a large collection of medium things, you can go through your life very quickly. Um, when you kill things, they will drop money or crafting materials or accessory items. The accessory items are unique to each character. They're always the same kind of thing, but each character has a different kind of gem they can use. But they still live in the inventory of the character that actually unlocked them, it seems like, and to send them, send them to the character that can actually use them. It costs money. The actual magic crystals for unlocking and powering up your skills seem to automatically transfer, which is good. And you can improve improve your shield, improve how long the benefit from potions lasts, but you can only equip potions in between stages, and I couldn't figure out how long the benefits from accessories last, but you have to equip accessories, and then you have to activate the accessory, which costs money, and you don't get that much money. These enemies will drop a friggin' pile of coins, or you'll burst open a treasure chest, and there'll be like a pile of coins inside, and it gives you like 2 or 3, maybe 5, and it costs hundreds for a lot of these things. Yeah, I on my second run, I decided to try a different character, so I couldn't even equip any potions. I didn't have enough money left to transfer anything to that character, and I couldn't figure out what upgrade I wanted, so I just tried it. My first one, I tried the default, which is the Storm Wizard. For my second one, I tried the Ether Bender. So yeah, it's once. Luckily, at first I thought you just had to kill the things to use your skills once, but no. Once you unlock them, they're on a fairly fast cooldown generally. As you do travel around the thing, you will find little rune circle thingies, which if you walk over them, are travel waypoints, and you can travel on the pause menu, which also has the map, which is important because the paths are so curvy that you really need the map to be able to figure out which path even gets to where you're going. Like, to get to the thing in the northeast, you can't leave the town to the north, the town in the middle of the map to the northeast. You have to go, like, south and then go back up north because there's a broken bridge and a cliff. So they really take the time to make you. And again, I did not beat the first map. I paid the game for 80 minutes with that guy and didn't. I got close, but then the final boss killed me, and then when I restarted, it automatically killed me again, and I don't know what was up with that. So, the game definitely still needs some work. Let's see. So yeah, it takes a really long time to get anywhere. There's not really any text. Like, there are signs that'll occasionally point towards an objective on the map, but they're pictorial, and a lot of the missions are couched as go to a place and talk to a guy to do a thing, but what you really do is walk over them, and then the goal icon on the left upper left part of your screen changes, which kind of further cuts down on the role playing if all you have to do is like bump into them. And then there are bonus missions throughout the map if you explore more thoroughly, usually destroying. Well, on the first map, it's destroying windmills, killing all of the enemies in some of the fields, and there was a third one that I don't remember. Oh, another thing, when you are you do get accessories that you can equip that improve your various stats. But aside from having to equip them and then uh, pay money to activate a lot of them, when I tried with another character, I still had the first character's things equipped. So if I wanted to try to equip anything for the second character, I'd have to unequip the things for the first character. And then if you want to re-equip those, you have to pay again. Or if you want to activate them again. So yeah, a lot of the systems just seem kind of obnoxious. Like, the aesthetic is neat, and like a more compact version of this with a little bit more like narrative and some refinements might be good, but as it is, it's really kind of clunky and it drags. Is basically my main feelings on it. Also, it took me a while to figure out that you can actually see. So when you're choosing your character, which is the first thing you do after you load, you can't see what their abilities are from that screen. You have to select them, and then on the next screen, go over a few tabs to see what their spells do. Because there's the tab that says what your stats do is the same for everybody, and then the second half of the tabs are like inventory and crafting materials and equips and stuff. But there is one of those tabs does have at least short descriptions of what all your spells are supposed to do. That would be better if you could see that on like the character select screen or something. At least if you tried. So yeah, I don't know. The music was okay. It didn't really stand out much. And that's, I think, pretty much all I have to say about this. I don't know if I'll go back to it because the not fitting on the screen properly and accidentally wasting money on activating an item that I then accidentally unequipped, and just the sheer amount of time that it actually takes to actually do the stages. I don't know. Also, the map would be nice if you could like zoom in and scroll around instead of it all being at the minimum zoom or at the maximum zoom out that allows you to see the whole enormous map at once, which notably is a scale at which you can't see some of the cliffs that are complete roadblocks. You can see them when they're on a diagonal, but not when they're on a vertical, because it does that like that faux three quarters view.
Isometric?
No, like in Secret of Mana and Legend of Zelda and stuff, where except
Oh.
for but like the sides of cliffs that run north to south are perfectly vertical.
Hmm.
So the edge is very narrow and not visible when you're zoomed far out. So yeah. Um I think this game has some potential if it's refined significantly, but as it is, it's very rough. How much are they charging for it, Adam?
So they are currently charging $9.99. Worth noting, since this is an early access game, that is the early access price.
Hmm.
They may increase it.
I know that might be a little high already. I don't think it doesn't look like there are a whole ton of different stages, although I could be wrong.
Another
And it would need some it would need some improvement. That said, I don't know if a vampire if a vampire survivors like where you do actually have like places to go and things to try and do instead of just fighting off waves. And I know that at least in some of the expansions, Vampire Survivor does have actual more specific objectives. But yeah, if you have a thing where you have more places that plays kind of like that, but you have more places to go and things to do instead of just fighting off waves of enemies. I mean, you're still mostly fighting off waves of enemies, but you're at least like making progress towards a goal while doing it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe it might be worth a try, but I think it
hmm.
needs a lot of refinement before I'd call it actually like particularly good.
I suppose one last consideration here is the early access window and progression.
Hmm.
Um, so they have a lot of stuff that they want to do for early access. Uh, uh,
Oh, do they have an actual map posted? See, I just played the game and didn't really.
yeah, yeah, bit vague. Here's what we plan on enhancing during early access: deeper progression, more monstrous mayhem, as in adding more monster types, you know, tuning the balance, making working on the bosses, a whole lot of things of that nature. Um, but
All of
kind
those
of
things would improve it significantly, but it also needs refinement on things that are already in there and not just stuff to be added.
yeah, they're talking about that. But the concern here is um, this game was apparently supposed to be out of early access already. Um,
Hmm.
they were aiming at a Halloween release date. That is clearly come and gone with nothing with no new date or even time window proposed.
Hmm.
So I would call this a bit of a risk in terms of its early access development.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Uh,
they're missing if they're missing you know if it's not just that they missed their milestone, they don't even have an estimation as to when they can feasibly bring this out.
Yeah, and I'm not even seeing any developer comments or whatever,
Yeah.
unless it's like
So
in a group thing.
yeah.
There might be
Anyway,
something in their Discord, but we're not looking through that on air because, yeah.
I
mhm.
don't. Yeah. Anyway,
Mhm.
so I think that's about it on Battle Wizard Attack.
I think that's
So,
all I have to say about it.
all right then. So be sure to tune in after the break as we review Dark.